Let's see if we are live. If you can hear me, please in the chat, make yourself known. Do I need to refresh it? I think it's going.
Looks like you're online.
Oh, I was looking in the wrong live stream. There we go. Okay. We can hear you. Thank you, Shergul. Ben here from Second Dynasty. This Friday, I have a massive headache. And it's going to be a short one today. But hey, I did get to live streaming. And you can see a real mess of a scene here at the moment. That is because I have been working all week on something that I was hoping would only take a day or two, but took significantly longer. This is the Poltergeist QF26A drone wingman. I think I said in the description. I gave it a little bit of cool lore here that the Poltergeist is a dedicated military space drone wingman originally designed as a standalone AI-operated craft. The AI agent developed feelings for the designer, and the brass had it scrubbed in favor of a wingman program slave to a pilot-operated craft. Designed for rack storage in microgravity, it lacks landing gear but folds to stow away, minimizing its storage profile. The Poltergeist is armed to the teeth with 44 micro missiles stored in the arms, a laser lens cannon on a dedicated turret, and 5 autocannon turrets. The craft relies on internal gyroscopes and directional aft thrusters for microgravity maneuvering, although some craft have been ordered with more conventional RCS-4. I apparently did not finish that sentence. In any case, I guess there will be some more editing to do. Once again, I have overextended myself with a Tribes release, which, it's... I'm very proud of the mechanics, though. It works very well. Unfortunately, we did have a print fail about 40 hours into a 45-hour print. And, you can see here where the top end just stopped printing on the arms. I was assembling. The thing is, we've had a H2C in storage since around Christmas. I hadn't been bothered getting it out, but this was enough of a reason to say, oh, okay, I'm not waiting another 45 hours to redo this. So Albin and I just installed it, and in theory, it is running now. I haven't tested the camera out yet, so we'll see what is going on here. It doesn't look like it's properly started. I don't know what's going on there.
Is it another firmware maybe?
Oh no, it says novel. Oh, here we go. It's calibrating the nozzles. Now this thing is very cool. See those things sticking up? That's nozzle switching. So those are all nozzles that it switches out. So this should be the very first print we're doing it. It's only going to take 1 day and 10 minutes, 24 hours. The thing is, this is the exact same print that on my A1 Mini was taking 45 hours. It has 2 AMS what are they called? Yeah, 2 AMS thingies. So technically it can do 8 filaments at once, but no more than 2 at the same time in 2 different nozzles. So it kind of tells you which one to optimize to get it down to those 24 hours. Anyway, hopefully you guys have seen this, and it's a little bit of entertainment for the background. But yeah, I'm excited to see how this does. And yeah, it finally came out of the box today, and Alvin and I were very manly about the way we assembled it. In the sense of, like, we tore apart the box because we couldn't figure out how to get the thing out, and then on the side of the box it literally had the instructions. This happened an additional 2 or 3 times as we assembled it, and yeah, it took more time than anticipated. So I was hoping to get back into Exoplanet Colony today. I'm really not feeling too good, to be perfectly honest. Got a pretty big headache at the moment. But we're not finished with Tribes this month either, because we do need... I'm going to make a customization pack, which is why I have a couple of variants here I think, yes, we got some RCS parts that were kind of hinted at in the description that I'm working on. Also working on an additional missile launcher to replace this sort of like bulgy thing, and a plane version. I'm also planning to see if I can't slip in a cockpit here, so that you could have a manned version. And I am kind of... I did want to originally put in some guns here, like on the QF IE 9IE, something like that. The Ghost 2 Phantom from Macross, like the design that this thing was inspired by. But I'm not sure. I think that'll be a little bit of overkill. I'm really kind of exhausted of this thing. But I do have an idea for the Grid Forge for February. Now, I know it's all quite late, but we do have a sale coming up. Also, you guys might have heard the massive news. I've known about it for a little bit longer than most people, that My Manufactory bought out Thingiverse. They did ask me to do a little film, sort of, yeah, just talk some good stuff about My Manufactory, I guess. So I was in the sort of initial pitch video there with the world's biggest zit on my face, which was nice to see, immortalized. Otherwise, yeah, this thing has taken that much time to get right, but it did get released last night finally in the 1.0 version. I've already put out a 1.01 version because I realized there was some issues with the turret connector here. So now I know it works for sure. I can probably show you guys. Let's see. I want the close-up camera. So there we go. It works now. The version that didn't, it's probably hard to see, but you can actually, there's like a cavity. Let's see. There's a cavity right there in the side. That's not supposed to be there. And consequently, when you try and put the barrel in, it just it gets knocked out altogether, and then it's loose. But the new version does not do that, and it is quite firm, very firm, in fact, I would say. And that's by design. So this thing is over-designed, I would say. Actually, why am I switching that out? Because, yeah, like I said, I had some failed prints, but here is one of the arms, and this is the stowed position, and this is the raised position. And one thing you would know if you've used this thing, if you printed this thing, is it's actually quite heavy. So the mechanics in this to keep this rigid has been quite a feat. Like, you can shake it about, it'll stay in position. Shake it about, it'll stay in position. Like, I'm very proud of this. But it was a fucking nightmare to design. But I did it. But my brain hurts now, and it needs to rest for another week. No, maybe not that much. But yes, expletives were required in this case. It just was not fun to design by the end of things. Like, I'm very proud of the results, don't get me wrong. I'm very happy with how it all fits together, but it is a bit of a pain in the backside, so to speak. Alright, I don't know, is there just no activity on the chat?
I can't see any.
No. I saw your welcome, but nothing after that.
No.
So, yeah, a bit weird. If you are in the chat, just give an answer so I know I'm not talking to...
Alvin.
Just Alvin. Okay, there we go. Stunned into silence. Yeah, from swearing. It looks like it's still just doing a level, so I don't know. This must take quite a bit of calibration before it starts going. It definitely takes a lot longer than other printers, but it did say by optimizing the printing this way, it would save 340 grams, which is quite a considerable amount of filament. And you know, our poop boxes have been filling up very quickly. So yeah, I'm excited. Doug and Kathy are both stunned. Yeah, sorry about the swearing. But yeah, I'm doing a couple of different variants. So if you want to add more missiles and the cockpit, you know what? Maybe we can just see what we can find in this scene. And I think I did compare the Starfire. Yeah, there's the Starfire in comparison. So it is a very large craft. But what I was thinking is we could pull out. I think it's only. I thought it was going to be so big that it could use more than a single seat. But it really doesn't look like it. And it kind of makes sense to me that this would be where the screen is there. So the idea was to do another custom version of this piece. And you can kind of see here where the difference is with designing for color printing versus non-color printing. So we don't have the underside there. We've only got the, like, let's just grab, yeah, that piece that we just had. So if I grab this, and I think we might also be missing this. So if I isolate those, this single piece now is made up of 4 different objects. So we've got one for the belly, we've got one for the main base color, we've got one for the stripe, and we've got one for these little black sections, which you could conceivably leave out as well. It will print without those. Couple of improvements over our other turret designs. It has a slightly more, I guess, teardroppy shape, which will just print more optimized, and you know, put these little edges in as well. Actually, we can sharpen that up a little bit so it's a little clearer. So there's like a little bit of a lip that should help with light blockage. That's something I've been focusing on more. But yeah, the idea here would be to, you can see I've placed the grid forge clip holes in such a way. Ooh, that probably should have been done in a different way. Let's just rip these out and redo it. I should have, it looks like I bridged without checking that it was all aligned. So let's bridge, and it's done the same thing. What I need here is what's called a bridge offset. There we go. That looks cleaner. And it's probably not a huge issue, but if there were printing issues on the bed, let's see, maybe we can actually look at the printing issues. So this is, what part am I looking for? Not this one. So this isn't the final version of things. I've rearranged it because I had to reprint. So this is the part in question. I keep trying to use my controls. But yeah, if we are getting some mesh issues here, it would be a case of like these holes partially closing off. So if I click slice plate though, and these holes don't fill in, I think we're good. So it looks okay. This looks like it's all slicing cleanly, so I'm not gonna go ahead and upgrade everything. But yeah, I was thinking for the Friends of Benjamin level, we just have a few custom parts. And maybe that's a better way of doing things rather than having like a whole new version, right? So that, you know, you can just customize it a bit better. So let's just duplicate this fighter, and then I'm literally going to delete everything aside from the cockpit here. We don't need the canopy because we'll be making a new one. Really, I'm just going to rip out the cockpit that's in here. And we'll just get that centered. And then isolate this and line it up. Now, it won't give great visibility, this thing. But, you know, certain aircraft historically haven't had the best visibility. They're more about speed. I'm thinking like about the Blackbird, for example. So about that level would get your head just high enough to see out of this canopy. You've probably got a lot of other stuff going on in the cockpit. So let's just get rid of all of the excess meshes that we don't need. I've got this loop here. We're not going to need this top part. Not sure how I'm going to solve it yet, but I think it'll probably just be with a clip, something simple. Because, you know, on the one end, this year is probably going to be more about tribes than anything else. Tribes is our bread and butter, and so I would like to support it more this year. But I would like it to just take, you know, like maybe 2 weeks of the month, not 3 or 4. So there is some room to do other projects, but we'll see. At the moment, it is what it is. But I mean, I still have a ton of exoplanet colony stuff that needs to be exported. And yeah, I don't know, I've just been by myself. Fortunately, Albin's been hard at work at 2 tribes releases, so the next 2 months. So that should buy me some time. And he has this cool snub fighter that he's working on. The wings fold out. Yeah, it's just a fun little design, I feel.
Got a question speaking of design.
Yes.
From Lupo Cavotto.
Wait, why do I have my headphones on? I'm not listening to anything. Yeah, sorry.
Yeah, Lupo Cavotto asks, P.S. Why am I seeing Ace Combat 3 Delphinius, Special 3 in there?
I do not know. Perhaps they ripped off some designs, but it is most certainly based on the a Carol Mori design from one of the obscure Macross games. I'm not sure I actually cut this. Did I not cut it? Cut. That's better. There we go. Let's separate that. So this will become our canopy. And yeah, I didn't actually intend this to turn into a modeling session, to be honest. We'll see. I kind of feel like I'm falling asleep at the wheel here a bit. Yes. I think we can get rid of a bit more geometry. So it is like recycling models that we already have a little bit. But this is designed to go in the same print orientation. And then, you know, I've got to be careful because I kind of have a bug at the back of my head that I'd like to redo Starfighters 2 one day using GridForge instead. And by GridForge, I really mean supported clips rather than OpenLock. They just take up so much space that I've kind of naturally just stopped using OpenLock clips. Like, I will definitely use it on Persephone if I ever have the time again to do Persephone. By virtue of the fact that it's such a large ship that you actually need that extra support. But as far as the rest of it's concerned, I just the supported clip has a very small profile, and that's lovely. It's lovely. I love it. So sometimes I like to just move the camera to sort of get it in the position of where the helmet would be. Here we go. So that you can kind of like get an impression of what it would be like to fly this thing. So again, not great visibility. Although one alternative is to simply take this base shape that we have and to make it bulge. And I think we could maybe get away with this by duplicating this. And I would want like to grab around here. Maybe actually around there, so there's a bit more of a rim. It's not quite ideal, but if we, again, just cut this where it is possible. I know there is a way to cleverly anchor the sides. Wait, I think we've got too much intersection going on here. There we go. Maybe this could actually be bulged a little bit. And I think the best thing to do would maybe be to drop, let's turn off all of our snapping. So this kind of like becomes a bit of a frame, right? We might need to make some additional adjustments there to just thicken it up a bit more than it is. But then if we switch to what's called the soft selection tool, we kind of get this shape. And I was kind of hoping, let's see, if we change the soft selection from volume to surface, it'll just stick to this area. And the idea being that we could actually create somewhat of a canopy here, which might excuse us pushing up the cockpit just a wee tad. And actually, I think rather than selecting multiple sections here, I think the best thing to do is actually to increase the size of the surface to manipulate. So it would be more like that, but actually I think we'll grab like a line here so that we can kind of get something more like this. Go up like that. Something like that. And then if we just drop this back down to where it was and grab that cockpit again. We can move that up a tad more, but you can kind of see like we'd need to play a little bit more with the shape than what I did here. But this will create, you know, significantly better view of the rest of the ship. So that's at least the idea. Let's see. People are chatting, talking. After having a look at the Delphinus, it is really pretty. I guess they feel similar as they both are quite organic in design language. Well, I'll have to have a look at that later. Yeah, I don't know. I'm running out of batteries already, to be honest. So, what more can we do? I can, I guess, go to the close camera mode, and I can put this together a bit more, maybe in front of people. If I can figure it out for myself. Sometimes it is a bit tricky, to be honest. So I'm very happy with the way that most of this is stuck together. Mostly. So that should slot into there. There is really only one way to do things, which both makes it easier and harder at the same time. Oh wait, have I printed the wrong versions? I'm not sure. It's not on camera anyway. This is a problem, I guess. Maybe this isn't so entertaining. I think it's meant to go this way. But then that should be... I need to give this some more thought. Okay. No. 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 Because that's got a rim. Yeah, I don't know if this is really entertaining anyone. I believe this is correct. Oh, there we go. The click sound of satisfaction. Which means that this one should go there. But I think it is technically upside down as well. Or does it go there? Unfortunately, there's like 2 different ways to put this on, and I think I've done it wrong twice. I mean, some parts came out really good. Like that clicks on and it's almost seamless. Yeah. If Ben can't figure out how to assemble his prints, what chance do we have? Well, I'm not looking at the diagrams. There's sophisticated instructions here that I should be reading, but and I spent a great deal of time doing. I think it's more a case of I've possibly installed. See, the thing is, like, I think the arms are meant to like go on that side, but these parts have been threaded through incorrectly, and in order to change it up, you actually have to remove the other arms and swap it out. And the funny thing is, I already did this once, like right before the stream, so yay. At least it is, you know, firmly in place, but the downside is you kind of got to pull all the clips out as well. So maybe I need to... Ben, we all have Friday afternoons when nothing goes together as expected time for the weekend. Yes, indeed. But the headache really doesn't help, if I'm being honest. Maybe I need to move the camera down slightly so you guys can see what my hands are doing. That could help. But yeah, it's these claw things need to be oriented in a certain way, and it is correct in the instructions, that much I know, but you kind of got to pay attention to which side this is on, and you know, once you clip this together, it's actually quite tight, and these thread all the way through, and there are also back plates that are clipped in, so yeah, I might have to be... Oh, I hate that. Where did it go? Hello? Oh no. Something fell off and I have no idea where... Oh, here it is. It's okay. I'm fine. Never mind. Okay, so this one was correct. Let's see. I've got to get this in camera. So again, the long part that connects should be along the top and the bottom respectively. So this one needs to go in... Wait. Is that correct? Yeah, okay. So now it's top side there. Problem is these are bottom side and it should be the opposite. Only problem is I kind of feel like maybe if I swap sides here... Did that work? No. Now it's facing the wrong way. That's the problem. So that's got to be on... Yeah. Yeah. That should be correct now. I hope. I hope. It's like I don't know what I'm doing. So that should be on that side. Right. So hopefully, I guess you get a better look at like the engineering here. And we've got the back side here. I've left a cavity in there in case you want to put like a light in, although it's not really designed for it. And I kind of also left a little hole up under here, if you can see it, that has like an interface piece for our stands. So in theory, you could thread this into the hole and it would hold the craft. But my version is very heavy. So I'm not really intending to use it that way at the moment. Okay, let's try and click this all back together and hope we've done it right this time. I feel like this is the third time I've attempted this particular thing. So again, 2 parts. Let's make them together. There you go, good mates. I'm gonna keep my mouth shut a little bit lest I make an accidental "that's what she said" joke. And so again, now things should hopefully be aligned. So I'm gonna grab this one because this is the only complete version I have, and I know it is correct. But I need to put some more Gripforge clips in here. So at the moment, I'm not reading the chat at all, just so you know.
They want an assembly video.
Oh god. I have thought about doing like a 3MF use video to inform people how they're supposed to use our color 3MFs. Oh, please tell me this is gonna work now. I don't want to, I've embarrassed myself enough already. Ah, there's the click. The click of salvation. But yeah, part of the problem is I don't know what I'm doing. No, I'm kidding. There we go. Click again. Now, this one should be on that side. Go for click. Oh, what's going on there? For some reason, it is not interfacing. This is horrible. Why would you not go in the hole? Is it bent? Well, of course you don't know, Albin. You're over there. In theory. I mean, it's aligned the way it's supposed to be. Is this like an older model? Does it check out? Let's see. Oh, the click. The click came. And then the last one needs a bit of cleanup. See, I did forget that with color, certain parts don't get supported. So if you do print this one in color, I might recommend considering it's still printed okay, but I would consider like supporting just here with the white just a tiny little bit so that you don't have any issues. Like in the future, what I really should be doing is having like a little interior part that sort of overlaps with the color, but I cannot be effed at the moment changing this design any more than I already have. I really like the way it came out, but God, I want this to end. And again, this is all going to be reprinted anyway because it failed, obviously. So if I just put some more clips into these holes. I know I really suck at holding the camera too, or rather holding up what I'm working on in front of the camera. And it's one of those things that, you know, if I had the resources and money, I would probably invest in actual cameras, not web cameras, but I am afraid it will have to be a 2027 thing. So again, this is all together now, finally. And you can kind of see the full effect. I have not printed any missiles yet, so if anyone has any trouble with the missiles, let me know. And again, yes, those are misprints. Can connect the nose. The reason that fell off before was because I only had 2 clips in. And actually, there's a tiny little bit of cleanup needed. It's hard to see, but see those sort of white edges, like here? So those are actually leftovers from the brim, and they have to come out. So I'm just getting a little hobby knife, scalpel, and God, I need new glasses. I can't see shit. You get to get all of my wonderful expressions as I play with knives. Which I don't like doing because when I was 12, my pa gave me my first pocket knife and said, "Watch out, this is really sharp, don't touch the blade." And within 5 minutes I was bleeding. Because, you know, when someone says don't touch, and you're a child.
Don't touch the children, for the love of God.
I've unfortunately always had to learn the hard way for myself. Fortunately not with boiling water.
Ooh.
I've met kids that have had to do that, but...
Oh, fuck. That's horrific.
Yes. Oh, come on. This is just not cooperating today. Which is great, because it's like, this is a typical thing. Look at all the scrap you can see now from us building the printer. We just haven't had a chance to clean up yet. I say that, but like... Especially when you're not super motivated. Cleaning in general is sort of like hard to do. But you know, if you've been not 100% for a long period of time, it kind of like is one of those things that might get neglected. But I haven't forced Alvin to do it all. So I'm still nice. Alrighty. Yeah, this is just not coming out, so I might need to spend more time fiddling with this, and I'm not sure how much you guys actually want to see me doing this. Although, mind you, I spent, you know, half the day watching people clear drains and build shacks in the snow. So, who knows? Different customer base, maybe. Anyone watch those lawn mowing YouTube channels?
You mean those that cleans like the...
Yeah, the yard work ones where they just go and clean up people's yards, yeah. Oddly satisfying for some reason. I hate mowing my lawns. I hate it, but, you know, it's kind of zen watching other people do it.
Yeah. And they always seem to attract like the neighborhood watch, the HOA, that gets pissed that suddenly there's a sidewalk.
Oh, HOAs, man. I'm glad we don't have them. I've never heard of a HOA here, right?
I was just thinking about that. If there is kind of similar things in Sweden, but it's not as pronounced as in America, for example.
I think, like, there are a couple of Swedish cultural things that prevent HOA abuse from actually happening. Oh, also the fact that we pay taxes to our local community, so they maintain the roads and pick up the garbage. It seems like a lot of that in the US and other places is based on things that we just get baked in.
Yeah.
Mind you, it's still like, it's not cheap, so I guess it's just like, instead of a HOA, you just pay to, like, Vänersborgs kommun. It's like 700 crowns a month or something for the garbage to get picked up and the water. The water. Yeah, this isn't happening. This is like not necessary for the point I'm trying to make anyway. So I'm just gonna go with this. I'm gonna plug it in because I am sick and tired. The nose. Look how frustrating this print is. Like, just the tip. There you go. There's your. That's what she said. Joke right there. Yeah, like it finished right a centimeter from the top. It's very frustrating. All right, let's install the notes.
Wait, there is something that you need to bring up.
What?
Kathy, fuck, is it Millet? I'm sorry if I pronounce it incorrectly. She has a Kickstarter that goes live on Tuesday.
Oh, well, there you go. Kathy, just send me via Discord the
The link.
link, and I'll pop it up in the chat for you. And let's see. And Blasted still has one going too, I think. We showed it off last week, so if you want to check that out, you should probably check that out as well. God, am I in camera at all? So now I'm just adding these polka dot things. We need to remove some of the supports from underneath. And then just, it's a simple clip in the bottom. There are 2 clip holes, but 1 is enough. And again, I kind of designed these with this rim on the outside and around it, which kind of like prevents light bleed. So we've got this last one to plug in here. Yes, Alban, you sound like you're bursting and wanting to say something.
No, I was just thinking about the light leak thing. So is it like you have the base being overlapped by the other?
Yeah, if you don't need a print, if there's no print issues with that, like the print orientation isn't interfering with things. God, I think I forgot to print out the pegs as well. Maybe I have some old ones here somewhere. I have so much stuff on my desk. Oh, I found 2.
Nice.
Yes, that is nice. So, very small. But we can take one of our finished turrets. This one is for under the nose, for example. And I'm just going to... here's the camera up here. Put the peg in. Actually, I find installing the pegs, because there is a flat side, it's easy to do with just some pliers. There we go. And then I think I'll actually pull the front off again, and we'll just plug that in. There we go. We've got your nose turret on, and again the barrel can move up and down, and of course from side to side. Although I think the craft probably only, like, it's gimbaled more than turreted, I would say, if that makes sense. And then sadly, this prototype here, you can kind of see there is a flaw there where the open lock clip, I had 2 holes and they actually combined into 1. So the parts that plug into this have no clip associated with them. I have reprinted them and fixed them, so the final version is fixed. But yeah, let's plug this in. There we go. So although not the fully printed, fully finished version, sadly, we can stick the arms out, and again, just how awesome is that? How well that all stays. Oh yeah, and the engine section. I haven't put in the engine bells yet, but I redesigned the connectors as well. So these use the same bell as the Spider Crab, but an adapter that has been changed from something that Alban made for the power loader. And now, when you just plug this in, it actually, you can move it slightly, but it stays wherever you move it to. So it's got just enough grip that it both accepts the bell without issues and allows for redirection. So very slowly, like I said, this has been quite well engineered compared to some of our older stuff. So anyway, I'm going to switch the camera back now that we have that roughly assembled. Sorry it wasn't, everything the way it should have been. It is what it is. Let's see if I can get that back to where it was. So guys, how many color changes did I do there? Well, see, I do the plates. Actually, we can go over that a little bit. So I'm going to go back to the original version of this. So let's go File, Recent Projects, and we'll open this up, not saving the differences, because this is the production version that you guys got. Whereas I had moved some things around to reprint them. let's see. Now let's just make sure I am streaming. Yes, you can see me. So you can see the amount of color changes here, but you do not need to use as many colors as I have. I've started doing things slightly different, whereas before I was doing new build plates per sort of color set. Now I'm doing them all as one. And you can kind of see here the different colors that are used. So you can just go and print this, right? And say, let's print this out. Oh, it crashed. Wonderful. Well, I guess we're not seeing that one. Or we can see what Bamboo Slicer can do. Although I really am a bit hesitant to do anything that might change this print. But oh, look at the cool, head changing, the tool changing there. It's so cool to see those arms coming up. But yeah, just in general, the idea was to, god damn it, why couldn't that just work? Let me go back in and open up this build plate again. Well, hopefully it won't crash. Yeah, my slicer crashed, but not my, yeah. That is kind of ironic, Doug, but that is the way the cookie crumbles. Yes, I am Il Lupo, but you'll be rather frustrated because I've actually had it since it arrived. I think it arrived technically before Christmas, and it's been in a box since then. We literally got it out today. I got it before the official release. I just made an order during Black Friday, and it came early. But I don't love setting things up and fiddling with them, and I was a bit stressed out. So yeah, I've had it for more than a month. It's been sitting in a box. So yeah, I don't know what's going on there, but
sounds like you're teaching it its place.
Teaching it its place. Yeah, so I think there'll be a couple of people that are just like, what? But the thing to know about me is I actually hate 3D printers. So this printer is good. It's really good. And wait, no, it's trying to get me to open this in, let's see, we want to open this with Orca Slicer. I suspect maybe my system will need a restart because there's some kind of memory leak going on with Orca Slicer. And I have a feeling if you have multiple copies, they're kind of shared. Blasted says, I need to find someone with a H2C and something the U1 or index and compare the waste on each. Well, this is the nice thing. Unfortunately, you have to use, at the moment, I believe you have to use Bamboo Slicer. I prefer Orca Slicer myself. And there is some nonsense about it being on the same network or, I can't remember what the deal was, but a little bit too much of an issue. In any case, this is working perfectly fine, and it opened my settings perfectly fine as well. So we actually do have a copy here. It's just a case of I've moved the arms around a little bit from this plate to reprint them, and obviously the build plates here are based on not the A1 Mini, but this one. So here you can see all these different colors, but you don't have to print with them. The thing is, you can select here the design, you go into objects, and you can just select the different areas. Let me see if I can zoom in. I'm not used to navigating in this interface. So here we've got the sort of like the arrow that you would see on a jet fighter to indicate the intake. And usually it has like danger, or in the Swedish case, fara, at the intake.
Which also means travel.
Well, you would be traveling rather quickly, and absolutely. So, you can assign the different color here. So say you wanted this to be red, which I think it originally was, but I just had it matching up to the actual filament I had. But if you don't have 4 filaments to change, what you would do is just, you can actually go to, oh wait, I need to change printers here. So let's change this to the A1 Mini again. And the purging volume is in a different spot, so that's not quite ideal. But say, for example, you want to print this plate as is, and it's got more colors than what you can actually handle. what you can actually do, and this might not work in this slicer, we'll have to see. If I click slice plate here, and I then send it to one of my Bamboo Minis, A1 Mini, sorry. Let's see. G-code path is beyond. Okay, yeah, this might need to be moved about a bit more in this case because of the way that Bamboo Slicer does things. So let's move that down there. We might want to rotate it, and it seems like the actual oh man, all of this explanation has taken way longer than I wanted it to. Oh, what can we do here? Maybe this. Move that there. Rotate that. Because it was ending up off the build plate. Or rather, the point is it doesn't really matter. It's just meant to show you the concept, right? So that is still too big. Let's move that as well. So we're just doing this one. And if we go slice plate here, hopefully it will build this time. This is an item that has 6 different colors, right? But our printer does not. So what we can actually do is, like, when we print the plate, we can choose. I named the A1 Mini Rainbow Bright. If I switch this one to Bifrost, you should be able to change to which color you want it to be. So you could just make this red, for example, black, or one of the other colors. So right at the time of printing, you can assign which filament goes to what. The thing that might change a little bit is the filament setting, but in general, it's, you know, quite easy to use. I will do it like a guide in the future, but man, I feel like I'm seriously rambling. So Kathy has sent me a link, and that's right, the medical wing is up and running. So let's put this in, and maybe we can have a squiz real quick.
A what?
A squiz.
What's that?
Oh, it might be hidden, I'm not sure. Can you can reserve already, right? Yes, we can reserve. So notify me on launch. Click that button. I have saved, as have 138 other people, which is great to see. So check that out and be sure to back it out. Back it up. It's another grid forge, so it's compatible with our stuff. And then while I'm here, I could go and see.
Is that blood splatter on the wall?
Yes, it is.
Oh, dope.
And Blasted is also very cool. And we can link that in the chat as well if I can find my way back to the chat. Here we go. And this is in its final couple of days, so it would be really helpful if you guys could help put him over the line. Although there's not like I believe there's a ton of different variants and files included in this, even though like it's not immediately obvious. And you know, there are a couple of stretch goals to unlock, but the base tiles themselves will look pretty great, and they're designed in such a way that you can print in color without having an AMS, which is also nice. And I think Kathy might have done something similar. So I think, yeah, the Gambino Kickstarter is also live. I'm not familiar with. Oh yes, the other one. Yeah, which also uses GridForge at the moment. Yes. Actually, I think I do have a link to that, but I don't have a custom link. It is fantasy, and a shout out to that one as well. So, a Renaissance city, which uses some GridForge parts as well. Not as customizable as standard GridForge, but the interiors are GridForged. You can kind of see the frame right there. On the inside there. So yeah, even more stuff, although this is specifically fantasy. The other ones are science fiction, and I would say with Blastlets it's more system agnostic, or rather setting agnostic, because it's jungle, right? You could have it as Predator, or you could have it as Chult. So, yeah, I would say this is like semi-grid forged, and we can put the link in the chat too, just to be fair to everyone. And yeah, I guess I've got some ideas. I'd really like to get this over and done with. I am going to sit here another hour or so. We'll see if my head clears up. But I would love to do a pack so I can move on from this. What I was going to say is for the Grid Forge for this month, because there is a sale coming later on in the month. If you're a Triber 2, you can get 50% off our whole store month-wide. But we are launching a customized version of the Hammerhead Scout Ship Beta variant, which is coming on the 22nd, traditionally Second Dynasty Day. But yeah, for the Gridforge pack for this month, although it's late, what I'm looking to do is actually do some exoplanet stuff. And in the executive suite, I always wanted to put in some toilets. Not like just any standard toilets, but like, you know, your sort of executive bathroom, sort of, you're at the corporation, right? And you've got your urinals and you've got your stalls, that sort of thing. So more like an office building or restaurant, restroom, I suppose you would say. So probably something along those themes will be as a part of that, as I add some additional content to Exoplanet Colony. Sorry it's also late, but I think we'll probably have a fairly early release for next month. So it will be there on the 1st. So anyway, more on that, I guess, next week as we run into things. Yes, Robocop exec bathroom feel. That is exactly the thing I'm going for. Anyway, guys, I have been rambling for too long. Thank you for joining me and sticking with me despite all of this nonsense. I'm surprised to see there are still 15 of you. Awesome, guys. Have a wonderful weekend. I will hopefully see you next week. Bye, guys.